All right. Like I said, peace, love, light, death, and darkness. And basically, the purpose of this chat today is I received some downloads from Odin uh, while doing some work with Alicia. Shout out to Alicia for all the information she provided, as well as Jordan with his help in this information. And as always, the purpose of this information is to help you grow, discover the divinity within you, help you have self realizations of your own, such as who you are as a divine being or soul coming to have an experience, and what experiences did you come to master and help others master, while being an example yourself. So that's where we are. Um, First of all, I want to say this: whatever energy you feel attracted to, or you feel a strong connection to, there's a reason for that. You either were their energy, or you're an aspect of their energy, or a literal son or daughter in certain cases to that energy. But there is a reason when you feel that attraction. A lot of people talk about being daughters of Oshun. Well, what you're really saying is you're a daughter of the love vibration. And that's probably the vibration that you came to master, or that you naturally exude that energy on a day to day basis. And that's the energy you came to bring here to help amplify the vibration of that energy on earth. The thing I'm obsessed with and I love is knowledge and wisdom. And that's my connection to Odin. I am obsessed with learning, but not just learning, understanding what I learned and applying it to make my life and others easier. And that's basically how he came through. And what was conveyed to me, that he wanted to be understood by everyone else, is what I came to share tonight. And the first thing I just want to begin with is you have to understand, when you are learning about deities and certain information, is through the lens and the context of those who have conquered you. And by you, I mean all of us, because all of us are slaves to the information that they put out. The only true information you gain is by going inside. So once you understand that, you can deprogram yourself and open yourself up to learning new information. But you first have to open yourself up in a way that allows you to get out of your ego, which is just the identity that, in this case, they created. Most people are living out of what they think a man should be based off what they saw on TV, or what they see in a movie, or what is portrayed to them in society or in a class or anything like that, instead of tapping into what their true self, their heart, and what that tells them on a day-to-day basis by their own intuition what a man is. And this also what led Odin on his pursuit of more wisdom and knowledge. So let's get to the story. Basically, what he want me to portray and get across is he is, first of all, the divine masculine manifestation of wisdom and knowledge. He was brought into existence by two divine mothers. He himself is the physical masculine manifestation of a dark divine mother. And when you hear darkness, understand darkness is a representation and a symbol of the subconscious, or the hidden, or the occult. And what that simply means is forgotten or unknown knowledge. So when someone says they're an occultist, or someone says they've been through the darkness, they've been through their own subconscious, they've been through their own traumas and things that are taboo, and mastered them and understood why they did that, why they enjoy that, and is that beneficial to what they came here to do, as well as information that helps transform them and helps them understand what's truly going on and connects them with their true self, what they came to do, like I said. So his story begins there. He was the immaculate conception of two other higher deities, Tiamat, which is a dragon deity, the mother dragon, and Isis, who is another mother of dragons. Now, this came up in the Q Reeves interview, and I'm glad that came up because I can clarify that now as well. Tiamat is like the great great grandmother of Isis. Isis is the initiatory school that Mary Magdalene studied in Egypt. she too had a mother. They're all mothers of dragons. John the Baptist, mom was a mother of dragons. It talks about in the Bible how when they walked past each other, John the Baptist and Jesus, what they call him in the Bible, mother walked past each other, they did flips in each other's stomach because gods recognize other gods energetically. So please understand that Mary Magdalene, when they talk about Game of Thrones and they talk about Khaleesi and all that, they're really talking about Isis, Mary Magdalene, and Inanna, uh, Lilith, all those energies, entities. That's who they're speaking of when he's talking about the mother of dragons. They're really talking about Mary, like I said, Tiamat, and that line in their lineage of dragon energy. Um, so that's where we begin. He was a literal miracle brought into existence because of imbalance and unbalance in the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is where he was conceived. He was the first being born by willpower. Willpower is what brought him here. The desire and the will and the love that Tiamat and Isis had for what they saw going on in the Garden of Eden, because the Garden of Eden is earth. Of course, it doesn't look the same, but it is earth. But what they saw in the treatment of women in that garden, their will and their intent and their energy connected with a consciousness of a being that sought out even more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that was its will as well. And that allowed him to come through the portal that is the woman, goddess, divine being, anything divine feminine. And that's what allowed Odin to come into shape and form in the garden itself. And also understand the Garden of Eden was not just full of humans. It was full of giants, dwarves, elves, what you call ETs, inner earth beings, what griffins, dragons, half dragons, human beings, humanoid human beings. Everybody was there in the garden. It's the story they tell y'all is not the true story. So just understand, let's move from there. So he came into being based off of that need for balance in the garden. And someone who sought off of true knowledge and wisdom that could benefit and serve humanity as a whole, because this all goes back to love, and the selfishness of love is to serve, be of service to someone else for the betterment of that person as well as your own. So after he was conceived, the way that he was raised how you would expect someone who was born of an immaculate conception or a miracle, a true miracle, would be treated. He was actually treated very well because he was born with a lot of knowledge. So people treated him as the wise sage and the miracle child. Of course, this will go to anyone's head. And that's where you get the desire for higher knowledge, but also within his life and within him seeing how things were going in the Garden of Eden, he too saw a need for balance. And he wanted me to stress this specifically. He did not like what he was seeing in the treatment of women in the garden. And they all saw that there needed to be a balance that took place. So now you get to the part where the similarities between him and Jesus. And Odin, as much as it is a spirit and an energy, and it was a literal being that walked this earth, it's also a path. And the path of knowledge, anything to obtain that knowledge. So he sacrificed his eye for a certain type of knowledge. But when he sacrificed his life, he obtained the knowledge of death and darkness. And like I said, the hidden, the subconscious, the occult. He came here knowing a lot. And that's what spurred him as what he called the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament is symbolic of that, of a king that is caught up in his ego. And he good and he know he good, but he's not serving the people in the best way possible. So in order to become who we needed to become, he made that sacrifice. And the sacrifice was to hang himself on the tree. But the tree, it wasn't a hanging in the way that you think it was. It was the tree literally pierced him, just like they tell you in the Bible that Jesus was pierced in his sides and in his hands and in his feet. Where he was really pierced were the chakras. He went intensive chakra work by the hands of the tree of life, the tree that they speak of in the Bible, of wisdom and knowledge, good and evil, light and dark, masculine and feminine. That's the tree he hung himself from. And it pierced the chakras of the hands, the feet, root, solar, sacral, heart, upper heart, shoulders, hands. I know it's some of your knees, it's some of your joints. But just understand that's where the first chakra work and deeper initiation into chakra work began, is when he hung himself on that tree and he came back not only with the mastery and the understanding of darkness and true consciousness and wisdom and knowledge, but also the understanding of the body and all the energy that exists within the body, because each chakra itself it's connected to a planet, but each chakra in your body is its own source point as well. Some of you are your own source points, literally. Some of you are working to become that. Some of you are working to become planets. They do not tell you the divinity that lies within you and the things you came to do here and the things you already are, and which you come back to the knowledge you came to bring back. So just know and understand that. And another thing that was told to really stress about what he did with the chakras was even his name, Odin, is a circle, and the chakras represent time. Odin represents time. The zero is a black representation of a black hole. It swallows up and it spits out things, creation and destruction. He represents all those things because of what he went through and the knowledge he was able to bring back. He did it. He hung on a tree for 9 days. That's why 9 is a very important and symbolic number, not only in Norse mythology, but in numerology in itself. 9 is the number of completion. That's why he's called the All Father. After those 9 days, he received all knowledge. Not only that, he is the father to a lot of children, including Adam and a lot of other deities that you have known. But the story of Adam that you are told is not the true story as well, because it doesn't make sense for someone to eat of the tree of knowledge and wisdom and to be punished for it. That's a diversion and perversion of a story. But back to Odin. Once he hung on that tree and he came down with no ego and realized he hadn't truly not known anything before, but who he was become afterwards was an egoless servant to whatever humanity was considered at that time. He also wanted me to stress the importance of the divine feminine and connecting and balancing out the divine feminine and masculine within all. And that women understand the divine knowledge and wisdom that lies within you is the most important thing. You are creators. You came here meaning to create. A lot of women are connected to the number 3, love, fertility, freedom, chaos, creation, holding, bondage, and releasing. All those things are related to the number 3. Because like I said, remember, he is a physical manifestation of the masculine of a divine dark mother. So he carries a balance of the divine masculine and feminine. A couple quick things. Light and dark are the same as a matter of perspective. The only difference between the higher realms and the lower realms, there is less rules in the lower realms, so it's more fun to be had, and it's more easy to create things and try things because there's less rules. But it's still a way to enlightenment, and really the way to enlightenment is to go through the darkness. And pay attention to the information you receive and who is telling it. That's going to influence the way you hear it. So when someone is telling the story, listen to what they're saying, but hear it as well. And use your discernment to decipher what's truth, what's false. Feel in your body what's truth, because a lot of truth goes against what you were taught, because what you were taught was a perversion and a lie of everything: religion, finance, government, deities, mythology, everything is out of whack to confuse you, and it does a good job. So you have to, and that was something else that he did as well. You have to be open to information in order to receive information. You have to first realize and tell yourself and truly sit with a pure heart and say, I know nothing. God, my higher self, my oversoul, my car body, whatever you want to refer to it as, fill me with true knowledge, and you will be filled with true knowledge. Like I said, Tiamat and Isis, pure heart and willpower brought in Odin and everything he came to do and all the balance he brought within the Garden of Eden. Whatever your heart and willpower connect to truly, that allows you to bring in the things that your divinity on earth allows you to bring into existence. And that's funny. The next thing I see is he had to surrender who he thought he was, what he thought he knew, to be born again and receive new knowledge. He thought he knew it all already. Once he found out he didn't, he said he sacrificed his whole soul and being to receive that knowledge, which was going through the death current, going through the subconscious, the unknown, and coming back the enlightened being. Like I said, he mostly exists of androgynous energy. He's comfortable in either one. One thing he wanted me to point out is the perversion of the cross-dresser. Like I said, it tells the story of him putting on feminine products, but in honor of the feminine, not to mock it, not in a traumatized way, but to truly pay homage and honor to the feminine. And the only thing he said he would wear was some eyeshadow in the current, occasionally a flower in the hair, but nothing crazy, nothing too out of whack. And that's the thing with a lot of things today is too much things are taken too far, and it's not a balance, and they're not coming from a pure place. And you have to understand where things are coming from before you just jump on that train and think, okay, this is where we going. Because a lot of things that are mass produced and mass marketed, they're not coming from a place of pureness and balance. And it's meant to throw you off balance. And just more emphasis on understanding the light and the dark are just two sides of the same coin. Both are perfect in themselves. And together they, of course, create a great balance. And I did want to point more similarities between him and Christ is the things that you need to understand is, or Jesus came after him. When he kept referencing the Father, when Jesus kept referencing the Father, he was speaking of his higher self. And his higher self is Odin, that energy. That's what that comes through. He spent 3 days on the cross. Odin spent 9. He was an immaculate conception. Odin was a miracle. He was the son of a mother of dragons. So was Odin. Isis and Tiamat are the mother dragons. And just like Odin, Jesus is a Elohim. And they both sacrificed themselves for the hidden and occult knowledge that lies within the subconscious. And understand that the subconscious depth, darkness, that relates to water and emotions. So in order to master water, you have to master death. If you think of the aspects of water, when it's light out, it's easy to see through the water. That is a representation of your conscious, the things that you're aware of, the things that you can easily see. When it's dark and the moon is shining, the water becomes dark. That's a representation of your subconscious. That's the areas that you need to explore, the things that you know are there, but you're too afraid to dive in because they're not highlighted anymore. So you choose to leave them alone because it's in the dark. When you go through the dark, you illuminate all that water, it all becomes clear and all becomes balanced. So just understanding those things. Odin, just in understanding that a lot of deity stories and just stories in general are just perverted and not the truth. A lot of deities were here at the same time on the same landmass, existed with humans helping humanity. There was a fall, and this is a result of that fall. So once again, if you want to learn how to reach out to deities, connect with different deities like Odin, which is just an aspect of me. And I understand that. I understand that my obsession with knowledge and wisdom is an aspect of him that comes from him. So if you want to learn how to connect with the deity within you, the divinity within you, do any chakra work, just reach out. That's the whole point of this. Is like I said, to align you with your true knowledge and power, because it's coming online. Like 2025 is not nothing. Nothing was the same, as a goofy once said, and it's true. You can look at everything going on and understand that there's a reset happening. But as a result of that reset, you're gonna need some more power. So they're going to upgrade those who are putting in the work. And I have the work if you want it. So I know there's a couple of people in here. Does anybody have any questions, anything they want to say? I see the Lee is in here. You want to add anything? Or Tasha or NKD? I'm not sure who that is, but appreciate y'all. Oh, and I will say, actually, since y'all are here, a great representation of Odin was in the show American Gods, when he talks about, and if you just want to kind of see his personality and how he truly is to an extent, watch American Gods. They did a great job of portraying his playfulness and his charm, and how everything is kind of a game to him. On his quest for knowledge, he makes it fun, and that's also something he wanted me to reiterate: is be playful. Just like the Bible says, you can only see God and meet God through the pureness and the innocence of that childlike heart that you came here with. So when doing this work, it's important to make it fun, to keep it lighthearted, and keep when you're a child and you haven't done something, you're excited about it. You don't have any idea what's about to happen, but you are excited. So for me, even me, I realized I need to get back to that with everything. Get back to thinking it's going to be like this the next time. Get back to just being open to having an experience. And that's the way to grow the quickest. I'm gonna get out of here. Just wanted to share that information. There will be a part 2. That's all I have for now. But thank you all for everyone who showed up. And I hope that helps. Peace.